The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for attending. We'll go ahead and get started in a couple of minutes. My name is Michelle Gauer, and I am a partner manager at Facebook. If someone wouldn't mind sending in a comment, just saying if they could hear me, that would be wonderful. Thank you, Ben, Tyler, and everyone else. I got that. Again, we'll just go ahead and get started in a couple minutes. Nigel from TireConnect is also on the line as well. And
Hey, Michelle.
hey there, Nigel. How's it going? And then we'll also
Pretty
have John
good.
Napoli from Optimize Social Media.
I'm here as well, Michelle.
Great. Thank you, guys. So I'll go ahead and get everything set up in a few minutes. And Nigel, if you want to take the first couple of minutes, that would be awesome.
Sure. Yeah, perfect. So yeah, it looks like we have like pretty good attendance. It's awesome. 53 and counting people joining. So thank you to all our clients at TireConnect for hopping on this webinar. To introduce myself, I'm the product manager at TireConnect. So I'm involved in development of new features and new products that we're launching. And yeah, so this is going to be the first webinar in a series of webinars. So we're hoping to start it off with a bang, and I don't think there's anybody else better than Facebook to kind of have a panache start to it. And yeah, after that, we're planning on having webinars from Google and also a chatbot company that we're working with called Passage AI. So yeah, I'll pass it over to Michelle, and maybe we want to wait a couple more minutes for everybody else to join. Seems like there's still a couple more people hopping in, and then Michelle can get started with her presentation.
Great. Thank you so much, Nigel. Yeah, we'll go ahead and give it another couple of minutes until we begin the full agenda. But again, thank you guys so much for joining. I've been working with Nigel and John on creating this presentation over the last couple of months. I'm really excited to share with you guys a little bit more about Facebook based on the responses from the register link. I noticed some of you seem to be pretty familiar with Facebook. Quite a few of you have already done advertising on Facebook. So we'll basically just go ahead and go over some of the differences between a personal profile as well as what you can utilize the business profile for moving forward, and how this will all connect. And Optimize Social Media is really going to be able to take that next step in optimizing your Facebook campaigns. So like I mentioned before, I am a partner manager in Facebook's global marketing solutions. So my job here is to work closely with a number of agencies across several different verticals and making sure that they're spending their clients' dollars most efficiently when it comes to Facebook. As I'm sure you guys have already seen before, there's quite a few different things that you can do when it comes to advertising on Facebook. So I really just want to give you a simplistic overview on how to do that and how Optimize will help you guys reach your goals the fastest. So post webinar, we will be having John Napoli on the line from Optimize Social Media, as well as myself, so we can save the last 15 minutes or so for some Q&A. We will answer those questions as best as we can. If not, I will be sending out a survey post webinar as well. So if all of you wouldn't mind checking your inbox in the next day or so, we'll be getting that out to you, and any feedback would be much appreciated. And then we will give all contact information at the end of this presentation as well, so you can connect with Optimize Social Media to help get you jump started on your campaign. So we can go ahead and get started, like I mentioned. So as far as what I want to cover with you guys today, so first off, we'll just go ahead and getting started with the overall value of Facebook. I'm sure many of you use Facebook all the time as a consumer, as did I before I started working here. So just really going over our user base and how that works. Second, we're going to hop into the different objectives on Facebook. So the reason why our advertising works so well is because we tailor these objectives to specifically align with the business goals for every single business. So we'll dive into what that means exactly. Third is we'll focus on ad formats. So as you guys may scroll through Facebook feed or Instagram stories, you may see different types of ads. We'll go over what those ad formats actually look like and the ones that are most popular within the auto and tire industry. Fourth topic we'll cover is the Facebook pixel. This is really going to help in terms of building your audiences and making sure that you're capturing the right users. Fifth, we'll talk about targeting. So Facebook is really known best for its targeting strategies and making sure that you're getting your business in front of those correct people. So we'll go over exactly what that means. And then lastly, we'll dive into a couple of success stories of businesses who are in the tire and auto industry and the success that they've seen overall advertising on Facebook. And then, like I mentioned, the last 15 minutes, we will have a Q&A. So feel free to use the questions tab in terms of any questions that you would either like to ask myself, Michelle from Facebook, as well as John Napoli from Optimize Social Media. So we'll go ahead and get started. Again, thank you guys all for joining.
Friends, families, teams, tribes, colleagues, communities. It's human nature. People like to be with other people. Because while we humans do a lot on our own, the simple truth is that sometimes we're even better together. Which is why we're drawn to interact and connect in simple and powerful ways, to express our likes and loves and so much more. These are opportunities to share, to discover, and to inspire. It's where amazing things have the opportunity to happen every single day. More than just on Facebook, but on our growing family of apps and services. Bringing us together in ways that are both accessible and incredible, delivering more than just likes and views, but measurable value for people and businesses alike. This is the incredible power of connecting us all. And it's just getting started.
Great. So just wanted to use that video to get started. Again, our whole mission is bringing the world closer together. So doing that, whether you're using Facebook from a personal side or using it from the business side, that's all we're doing. And for those of you who didn't know, Facebook has acquired many other different apps, including Instagram and WhatsApp. So a lot of the times you are using Facebook's family of apps and services without even knowing it. So as you can see from that video, the world has drastically changed, and the way that we're communicating with one another and consuming information has changed. So the world is mobile. And diving into that a little bit more, people are consuming digital media over any other type of media out there today. And a reason for this spike, even above television, is because of the rise of mobile phones. So I'm sure you guys are all guilty of it too. People always have these supercomputers in their pocket, and they have access to information anytime and anywhere. So this graph really just highlighting overall where digital has started and how much up in the right it has gone, even over things like radio and TV. And to break down these numbers a little bit further, people spend 1 in 5 mobile minutes on Facebook and Instagram. So that means 20% of all time spent on a mobile device is spent on Facebook and Instagram. Again, I'm sure we're all very familiar with these amount of minutes as we're using it as a consumer, but really tying it back to being a business owner and running a business. Imagine all of your customers are doing the same thing. So we want to make sure that we're showing your business to those users. And at Facebook, mobile is really the core of everything we do. So as of recently updated, this 2.2 billion number has hopped up to 2.7 billion people using our platforms, the vast majority of those on mobile. And 20% of time people spend on their mobile devices, again, is with us on Facebook and Instagram. So through this, we really have a unique lens to witness the evolving state of mobile behavior in real time and learning how to actually create those experiences that matter to people on mobile. Two of the places where people are spending a significant amount of time consuming digital media is on Facebook and Instagram. Just in the US alone, over 200 million people access Facebook every month, and 77% of those people return every day. So breaking it down, that's actually 158 million people logging into Facebook every day. So the reason why I wanted to bring these numbers to you is not just to show all about Facebook, but really breaking it down and knowing that your potential customers are on Facebook, and there's a lot of opportunity for small businesses to be reaching these customers. And in terms of Instagram, we're finding now around 100 million people access Instagram monthly on mobile, just in the US. And it's more important that even that businesses be where their customers are, right? So, which is increasingly on mobile devices. It can definitely be super expensive to build and host a website, create mobile friendly websites or apps. But the great thing about Facebook and Instagram is that once you create an account, you have a presence on every single type of device, and you really don't have to do a thing just because we're compatible with everything that we may use, right? If we're on our commute on the way to work, we're on our phone. If we're at home, we're scrolling through our tablet. At work, we're on our computer. Facebook and Instagram is there. We're also in a unique position to offer you a place where you can have a presence on all devices and platforms where people are already spending a significant amount of their time, like I mentioned. So again, you can always be where your customers are spending the most time. So first thing, as we're still talking about the value of Facebook, let's start with the tools that you can use to create a presence for your business online. As I mentioned, this is really everything that Optimized Social Media is a pro at. So myself, working with the entire Optimized Social Media team, we're working closely together to make sure that we're defining the best strategies for their clients based on those business goals. So everything that we're going to be going over can seem like a little bit much of information, but as soon as you connect with Optimized Social Media, they'll be more than happy to sit down and actually figure out a strategy that works best for your business specifically. So first thing I want to do is dive into the difference between a profile and a page. So quite simply, profiles are for people and pages are for businesses. So you actually do need a personal profile to create a business page on Facebook. When you create content on your personal profile, it's coming from the voice of yourself. However, when you create content on your business page, it comes from the voice of your business, not your personal self. So really what I hope that you guys can take away from this is that they're very different. If you use Facebook as a consumer and just as a regular person, you'll find it super easy to create and manage a page that will represent your business. Its functionality is really meant to help you reach your business goals. And when you create a business page, you can also add admins to the page to help you manage your business page, as you can do with Optimized Social Media. And let's say you have an employee move away or someone who can no longer work for you. It's actually really easy to remove them as an admin from your page to prevent any information from being lost. Now we'll dive into Instagram a little bit more. Like I mentioned, Instagram was actually acquired as part of the Facebook family back in 2012. So as you can see here, the Instagram community growth, 800 million monthly active worldwide, and about 20% of those are all coming from the United States, which I know most of you are based in. So for Instagram, the first tool, very similar to Facebook, is having a business profile. So it's a new way to signal to people on Instagram that they're interacting with a business without disrupting the everyday experience of Instagram. So customers can easily see a business industry information, so customers know what type of business you are. the business address, so a customer will actually know where to find you. And finally, most importantly, a contact button so customers can call, message, or get directions to your business directly. So once businesses convert to this Instagram business profile, the updates will immediately take effect. So note that outside of the above changes, business profiles will retain the same features as normal profiles. And this stems from our simple principle above. We want to keep business profiles relatively simple and consistent with what users already know and love about Instagram while still delivering that new value. Simply put, consumers are in the midst of shifting to the stories format, but businesses are lagging behind where there's an extremely large opportunity for businesses like you. For those of you who aren't familiar, Instagram released a new feature back a couple years ago called Stories. So instead of actually posting a post that stays on the page forever, businesses as well as personal profiles can post these stories that actually only come up and stay for 24 hours. And this allows consumers to easily scroll through. So while they're scrolling through all of their friends' stories, if you're advertising, your business can come up if you're advertising within Instagram stories. So again, this really presents an immense opportunity to reach your customers where they're now increasingly spending their time shifting over from regular posts to stories. So now that we've covered some of the tools that you can use to create a presence for your business across Facebook's apps and services, now we're going to talk about how to actually reach those potential customers. This is where advertising comes into play. Simply put, an objective is what you're going to be optimizing for when running an advertising campaign. So we'll go through what that means and examples of all the different categories. So first thing I want to address for those of you who may have done boosted posts before or have just done very lightweight Facebook advertising, we're actually wanting our advertisers to avoid the engagement objective. So this can be things like optimizing to get page likes or getting people to just simply engage as opposed to driving those real business results, which we'll get into with the other objectives in just a minute. So the reasons why we want to avoid this is that it's uncommon. We actually found about 91% of users on Facebook do not click or engage with page post engagement ads. Second reason is that it's expensive. So the remaining 9% of those users have an effective CPM of 4.2 times that of non-clicky portion of the given brand's target audience. So that basically means that the impressions are going to be a lot more expensive as we're trying to get people to like your page as opposed to driving people to take action with your business. And third is that it really amounts to little. There's been several research studies shown that very limited correlation between clicks and offline sales lift, nor has it found that clicks or engagement are indicative of brand affinity or purchase intent. So a good way to look at this is that while some of you may be familiar in measuring clicks, let's say by running Google, Facebook is actually a platform where we do not want to focus on clicks. So I know that could be a little bit hard to understand if you're a heavy Google advertiser, heavy clicks, but that's actually the opposite on Facebook. We want to drive those real people results. So how do we do that? Through Ads Manager, and this is what optimized social media campaign managers work on every single day, optimizing these campaigns, you can take advantage of a lot more targeting and creative options, which we'll talk about shortly. So let's say if you wanted to target vehicle owners interested in buying tires, you can only get that access to that type of targeting within Ads Manager. So we highly recommend creating ads in Ads Manager instead of boosting posts, which some of you, again, may be familiar with. So again, you can take advantage of all the targeting options that exist within Ads Manager. So how we look at our advertising objectives and Facebook as a whole is within this marketing funnel. So we break it down into 3 different sections. So first is increasing awareness, which we're finding top of funnel. So these are the type of objectives that generate a general interest in your product or service. The next layer of this would be our middle funnel, which would be consideration objectives. So this would be objectives that get people to start thinking about your business and continue to look for more information about it. And then the third Lower funnel is conversions. So these are the types of objectives that encourage people interested in interested in your business to purchase or use the product or service. So like I mentioned, whatever the goal of your business is, if you're trying to increase awareness for a new product, or you're simply trying to drive those hard conversions to measure on the back end, Facebook really has any type of objective to stay in line with those business goals that you may have. So through awareness, let's say some examples of business goals would be a new brand. So you're new to Facebook, or there's a new product launch, or let's say there's a go-to market promoting event. The different campaign objectives that would be available to solve this type of business goal, one would be brand awareness, which is highlighted. So what this would do is show your ad to the most interested audience. Second option in awareness is reach. So this is simply reaching as many people as possible. And this is typically what optimized social media is helping a lot of these upper funnel advertisers with. So going into the consideration funnel, these could be business goals like wanting to get people to watch a video, or acquiring leads, or having people register or read a newsletter. And the objectives that we would want to stay in line with some of those business goals would be video views for one. So that would be showing your ad to people most likely to view it. Second one would be lead generation, acquiring high quality leads. And then the third lower funnel type of objective is conversion. So these could be business goals such as app installs, online purchases, or attracting that high quality traffic. And campaign objectives that fall in line with this, one could be app installs. So we would be reaching your app installs goal. And the second one, most popular, conversions. So tracking the conversions you want and then retargeting that same audience. So again, this is just an overview of the different objectives available. Like I mentioned, whether you have that goal of just general awareness, or you have a goal of actually wanting to get those in-depth conversions or store visits, optimized social media is trained professionals on all these different objectives. I'm constantly introducing suggestions and recommendations to make the most out of these campaigns. So whatever you feel that you could benefit from, they are there to help, as well as I will be helping. So next, we're actually going to get into the different ad formats. So there are a wide variety of ad formats that are actually going to be optimized for these different objectives that we've gone over. But for time's sake, I'm just going to go over the ones that I find most relevant for the tire and auto industry. So first are link ads. So link ads are a really great entry for those new to Facebook, or those marketers who want to direct users off of Facebook. So link ads actually allow you to take an image and pair it with a call to action button to direct off Facebook to your destination of choice. So as you can see here, link ads take up a large amount of phone real estate, and there are multiple options for call to action buttons that you can choose based on your objective. So whether that be shop now, call now, something along those lines, your representative at Optimized Social Media will help you in creating these different call to action types. For the different creative, you can use video or still images. For this particular example, I took an image from one of our clients of Ducati of Tampa Bay's website and actually added it to an app on my phone called Legend. And what this does is actually add motion to images with text overlays. So this is a free app on your phone that you can actually add extra flavor and motion to capture more attention to your ads. That's something that we find a lot, is just by adding some simple motion or having these different video ads is going to make your ad a lot more appealing to that user and give you a lot more being able to be competitive over some other businesses that may just be running those static images. And again, we're working with Optimized Social Media to help you create this type of creative content. Whether you already have creative that you're using, they're going to help you make sure that whatever creative you're using is best in line with your campaign objective and your goals. So now we're going to talk about carousel ads. So carousel ads, you're paying for one piece of newsfeed real estate just as you are with link ads. But with these ads, you're actually able to include up to 5 different images or video creative. So this is really where you would be getting the most bang for your buck. Carousel ads give you the ability to choose one of 2 different strategies. So you can either showcase multiple pieces of inventory that you're trying to push, or you can showcase different features of one certain car, as you see in this example. So you'll also notice that each picture has a call to action button at the bottom. And like I mentioned before, these buttons can be customized and lead to different pages of your website. So in this example, the picture explaining that these apparel discounts can go to the apparel page and the parts discount to the parts page and so on. So if you're a little bit newer to Facebook advertising and want to try something lightweight that's more than one image, I would definitely encourage you to use the carousel format. Third type of format are video ads. So by 2020, the industry is actually projecting that 50% of all impressions served on mobile will be video ads, and this trend is already starting to take root this year. So one of the most popular ways to reach a consumer and grab the immediate attention are with these video ads. So video ads are a terrific way for your business to build brand awareness. With over 100 million hours of video watched every single day, you can actually use engaging video creative to build your brand and get your potential customers involved and really excited about your business. You're actually even able to compile retargetable audiences from video viewers to retarget as you continue through your consumer lifecycle strategy. So again, this is a really great option if you don't have video of your own that fits the mobile phone, as the images will create a mobile-friendly video. And the last type of format that I wanted to go over are lead ads. So the introduction of lead ads has completely changed the way that we're able to generate leads on mobile. And to understand the full value of this product, I want you to think back about how bad the mobile lead generation was on Facebook before this product was created. So we first have to wait for the mobile site to load, then think about pressing on those small form fields, misspelling your name, but having so much trouble editing the information. I don't know about you, but those frustrations had often had been leaving the lead form before I actually submitted it. So with our native lead ads, almost all of these frustrations have been fixed. So the form immediately pops up within the Facebook app, so no more waiting for a site to load. And then any user information being asked that you have to fill out in your profile is actually automatically filled in. So users have an intent to submit a lead for your business and faster and easier than ever. So again, this format would require a little bit more of heavy lifting than some of the previous ad formats, but you will see compiling this ad type is super easy within the consideration funnel of the marketing funnel that we went over. So I hope that was helpful in terms of learning a little bit more about video ads. One thing I did want to highlight is, again, just going back to the trend in 2020 that we're going to find over 50% of impressions being delivered are video. So whether you work with a creative agency or there's any opportunity to add motion or video or add motion to static images or have any type of video creative, using video creative or enhancing static images with motion increases campaign performance. So here I included a really quick example. This essentially costs no money to make whatsoever. Simply this brand right here took a couple of static images from their products and simply just had them add motion to it by using an app so that it's a lot more appealing for this consumer to use. So by doing this, instead of just having those regular standstill static images, there's a 48% lower cost per acquisition. They received a 1.4 times return on ad spend and a 2.4 times lift in a click-through rate. So I hope this is helpful for you guys to understand. And again, Optimize wants to work with you guys on developing a great solution for your business. And just as a quick halftime check-in, could I have 1 or 2 people just say that you can hear me clearly and everything is good to go still? All right, awesome. Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Norm, Eric, everyone for answering that. I appreciate it. Just want to make sure I'm not talking to myself. All right. So the next topic we're going to talk about is the Facebook pixel. I know this can probably be an intimidating word to hear, and I first thought that in the beginning as well. It sounded very technical and something I wouldn't be able to work with. But simply Facebook pixel, we're really going to go over how simple it is and how this can actually maximize your ad campaign with the Facebook pixel. So what is this exactly? So it's a small piece of code that you add to your website to access some of Facebook's advanced advertising features. So to paint the picture a little bit more, we can use the pixel for things like tracking conversions and actually generating a better audience for when we're targeting your ads. So let's say you had someone land on your website and added a tire to their cart, but then actually never completed that purchase. By allowing Optimize to have access to your Facebook pixel, they'll be able to retarget those users that had added to cart but not purchased as a way for you to get in front of those users who had already expressed interest to your product. So again, there's not a ton that you need to know about the Facebook pixel aside from being able to have access to that through Optimize. So whether you're going to have them create a website for you specifically or having access to your existing website already. And these are simply just a couple examples of what the Facebook pixel can do. So the Facebook pixel can help you track conversions on your Facebook ads, can help you optimize your ads for people who are most likely to convert, and like I mentioned, being able to generate audiences to better target your ads. And a good way to look at this as well, for advertisers who do not decide to implement the Facebook pixel, imagine throwing this great party with great cake, great food, awesome decorations, everything is totally decked out, but you never send out the invitations so no one shows up. That's essentially what, if you're running Facebook advertising and not having the pixel, that's kind of what's going on. You're getting all of these, you have this great ad, you have this great video to show off, but if we're not targeting those users and being able to track what's going on, there's really not a lot of point, and it makes it a lot harder to effectively track your advertising campaign. I'm sure all of you want to see a return on your ad spend, so this is a very simple way to make sure that you're optimizing your campaign to the fullest and not having to worry about any of this as optimized social media would be doing this. And Joe, just to answer your question really quick, I can send over a follow-up as well, but we have a couple of different apps when it comes to producing your creative and adding motion to static images, like I mentioned. A couple of examples for those would be Legend, Legend, and another one is Quick, Quik. So if you guys would like to learn a little bit more additional information about this, Jason, my point of contact, as well as John at Optimize Social Media, they'll be willing to help out with those types of things a little bit more. So now that we've covered everything else, the different objectives, the different ad formats, the Facebook pixel, now we're going to talk about targeting. And this is a really super important part when it comes to Facebook advertising. So when we deliver your ads, there are two layers that go into this targeting. So the first layer of targeting is what we in this session will call audience attributes. So audience attributes are actually what defines the scope of your target audience. So within the attributed audiences, we have three main groups: core audiences, custom audiences, and lookalike audiences. Core audiences are going to be the audiences that you can define within our native targeting. So this can include things such as demographics, location, and interests. The second group is called custom audiences. So these are audiences that you can actually create your own data, either by uploading an email or phone list and matching it in our system, or you can build audiences from website data gathered by that Facebook pixel that I mentioned. The third type of audience is called a lookalike audience. This is by far what I view as one of Facebook's most valuable products. And these are audiences that you can create by defining a seed audience and letting our system find people that are actually similar to this audience. So if you're not familiar with the different audiences, we have several different training courses available on our Blueprint website. And this is where you can learn a little bit more about this. And the second layer of targeting is platform behavior. By this, I mean how people are behaving on Facebook. So do they click a lot, like we mentioned before? Do they watch a lot of videos? Do they typically buy products through ads? So these actual two layers combined is what's going to define your actual target audience. So with Facebook profiles, users choose what they want to share, and this gives information that helps shape rich targeting opportunities to choose from. So let's take a look at my profile on Facebook as an example. So as I already have some of these likes and interests, for those of you who like Led Zeppelin, big fan. I'm also from Chicago, so I'm a big Cubs fan. I'm sorry if anyone here is a Sox fan, but Facebook using these different interests to be able to attract the type of users based on those different interests. And Facebook has recently made bigger strides to protect users' privacy. So we'll never actually share any information that you have not chosen to open share yourself. I hope, like me, you enjoy sharing and interacting with brands and content on Facebook, because I know that when I see ads that are relevant to me, I no longer feel weird about it, but I feel that a brand has put care into making sure I see an ad that would be relevant to my lifestyle. So like I mentioned before, there are a variety of targeting options that exist on Facebook. So first, you can target by demographics. So these are things like gender, age, relationship status, etc. Second, you can target by interests. So things like snowmobiling or healthy foods or fashion. This information is what people are sharing about themselves every single day on Facebook, as well as interests that people express off of Facebook. So to give an example, let's say you visit Nordstrom.com, typically something I do a lot, and that might indicate to us that you're interested in fashion or particular clothing accessories. You can also target by behaviors. So if you are a nonprofit, perhaps, and you want to target people who are likely to donate or donate to a charity, or perhaps you're a realtor and you're looking to target people who are likely to move and you want to show them a new house that you have on the market. And lastly, you can target by location. So this isn't just where people live, but this is also based off of the GPS on their phone. So you can actually target people who are nearby your store at any given time, just super relevant to a lot of you local owners. And these targetable audiences are based on both information shared by a user on Facebook as well as data from third-party sources. And now I'm going to just quickly highlight again these two of our advanced targeting options, custom audiences and lookalike audiences. So for those of you who have an email or phone list of customers with custom audiences, you're able to target those people back on Facebook. And for those of you who want to find new customers on Facebook and Instagram with lookalike audiences, we can help you find people on Facebook and Instagram that look very similar to your current customers. So the last section I'm going to walk through with you all before we hop into Q&A are some success stories. So Facebook has a wide variety of different case studies when it comes to advertisers that we've worked with that all highlight different types of things. So I'm going to highlight just a couple of them here, but for time's sake, if you guys would like to visit any more of these and read upon Facebook success stories, simply just go to facebook.com/success stories, or you can just simply go to google.com and type in Facebook case studies and they should show up somewhere, and you can factor out different objectives or different industries, whatever that might be. So first case study that I wanted to highlight is BF Goodrich Tire success story. So this extremely relevant to, I know, most of you in the audience. So want to talk a little bit more about their goals. That's a word that we've heard a lot through this presentation, in the sense that all of you have different business goals that you want to reach. So I'm going to talk about their goals, their story, and the results that they saw. So their main goal was attracting more leads. So they wanted to attract and actively engage with more social followers and find leads among off-road driving enthusiasts from an influencer event held on the Baja Peninsula. And BF Goodrich, so their story, they're a higher performance tire brand, and they're an American tire brand with more than 100 years of heritage. So combining technical expertise with decades of motorsports and experience, BF Goodrich Tires has tires for a full range of driving experiences, from ultra high performance street to off-road terrain. BF Goodrich Tires has supported the desert racing community for many years, including a major flagship competition in Mexico called the SCORE International Baja 1000. So their story in terms of what they did on Facebook was that they found CRM and digital advertising used to be two different worlds. Now, thanks to Salesforce and Facebook, we've integrated them and are able to use our first-party data, like I mentioned before, using those lists to improve our ad targeting, personalization, and return on investment. So this has given a greater reduction in cost per lead and help us to find thousands of new off-road enthusiasts and potential customers. So going back to the different ad formats, this specific company used lead ads as a way to really drive customers. And what they found was by using the different CRM lists and personalization, they found a 40% lower cost per lead and over 2,400 leads generated from a campaign that they ran. So this is just one example. And this is the video that it looked like. So I know this can look a little bit intimidating. We don't expect all of you to have these long form videos. The biggest takeaway is just utilizing lead ads. And while this may look like a lot, Optimized Social Media, again, is going to work with you guys in really developing a strategy and making sure that they are producing the best content to help you get the type of customer and results that you're looking for. One more case study that I wanted to cover is Asbury Auto Nally Nissan of Atlanta. So I know this isn't a tire store, but still within the auto vertical. And basically the goal of this business, they wanted to raise awareness among residents about its new location and increase vehicle service orders, particularly among Nissan owners who service their vehicles at independent auto shops. So their solution, their team used a Facebook API to connect its internal service scheduling tools with the lead ad, which allowed people to instantly schedule a service appointment directly through Facebook. So again, chatting about the lead ad format just from last time. And the solution, so the dealership partnered with a database management company, Oracle, as you may have heard of before, to identify that in-market service shopper and its target audiences. So using this information, the Nally Nissan team created and targeted its campaign to a custom audience, like I mentioned before, of people who previously declined service packages. It also targeted Nissan owners in the market for auto service or with interest in auto parts and accessories, and focus its targeting on owners aged 24 to 60 years old, living within 25 miles of Doraville, Georgia. So like I mentioned, hearing all of that, you can really get in a lot in terms of what type of customer you want to target. So whether that's, from your specific location or a specific type of car owner. And this is exactly what this business did. And their success, so over their 4-week campaign, they not only drove an increase in service appointments, but also led the Nally Nissan team to reallocate a large portion of its direct mail budget to Facebook. The campaign achieved 201 service appointments scheduled directly from the lead ad, over 5,000 qualified website visits, and over 76,000 customers reached. So I think the biggest takeaway in this is just utilizing all the different tools of Facebook between custom audiences, targeting, things like that, and really being able to see that they were able to achieve these large business results and had taken some of the more traditional media that we're used to, like direct mail and newspapers, that's very out of date, and directing it to where they know people are always spending their time. We have time to go over one more before we hop into Q&A. So this is a little bit more of a luxury brand, Maserati. So real quick, Maserati wanted to take advantage of the buzz surrounding the release of its first SUV by cost effectively generating qualified leads and driving sales using Facebook and Instagram. So what they did was develop a two-phase campaign to introduce and generate leads for the all new SUV in partnership with Facebook and another agency, Social Code. So the branding phase of the campaign, they used video ads on Facebook and Instagram to communicate the uniqueness of the vehicle and establish an emotional connection with a qualified audience. Each of these videos featured a different vehicle selling point, from the driving dynamics to its luxurious interior features. So in this first phase, the company used third-party data to reach in and near market luxury SUV shoppers. It also targeted a custom audience of people who had performed specific actions on the website, including the SUV vehicle landing page. Additionally, Maserati targeted a lookalike audience based on its customer list. And for the second phase, the team used lead ads, which automatically fill in contact information from people's Facebook profiles when they click through. So to increase the quality of leads that it generated during this phase, it was critical for Maserati to show the lead ads to people who had completed watching a video ad during the branding phase. And a quick quote from the client, Facebook provided us the ability to scale and reach our niche audience with our SUV campaign across both Facebook and Instagram. We introduced our all-new SUV to the right audience, collected prospective customers' information, and seamlessly connected them to their local Maserati dealer. We're certainly going to continue exploring Facebook's advertising solutions. So I hope these success stories were really helpful in just completing the circle of really understanding the value of Facebook, the different features, and how you guys as small business owners can utilize optimized social media to incorporate all these strategies and figure out a custom strategy just for you to help accomplish those business goals. So thank you so much for your time. And I will go ahead and kick it over to John from Optimized Social Media.
Thank you, Michelle. That was a great presentation. I want to thank you for putting all the time and energy into this. I also want to thank Nigel and the team over at TireConnect. It's great to have a relationship with TireConnect and Bridgestone as a core vendor. And, I want to thank all the businesses that attended the webinar today, taking the time out of your day and helping to invest back into your business. These online platforms are very complex, and to take that time to learn about Facebook, especially today, and really understand how we can help you manage these complexities and give you the tools to become successful, right? Our goal is to always help the independent businesses thrive. And we would love an opportunity to spend some time with you, get to learn your business better and understand your goals, and then help to align a strategy to accomplish those goals. So Michelle, if you want to take some questions, we can help answer those together if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm taking a look at some of these questions. So Andrea, yes, to answer your question, this will be recorded. So I believe Nigel will go ahead and distribute. And then for anyone else, please feel free to use the questions. I got a question from Charles, how to advertise on Google Marketplace. Well, we have Facebook Marketplace, which is one of the options that you can opt into as you are choosing which placements that you want to advertise on, but unfortunately don't know too much about Google Marketplace. And I appreciate some of the feedback that we're getting in. Thanks, Charles. Yeah, so there's definitely a way that you can advertise on Facebook Marketplace. So as Optimize will be setting up your different campaigns, there's actually all different placements that you can opt into as an advertiser. Our advertisers who are seeing the most success are typically optimizing into what we call automatic placements. So that's actually putting your ad on all the different placements available between Facebook's family of apps and services. So that can be things like Facebook feed, Facebook right column, Instagram stories, Instagram feed, Facebook marketplace, all placements like that. So we can really drive as much opportunity for people to see your business as well. And did anyone else have any other questions?
So, Michelle, there's a question from John here. Can you provide examples of high-performance graphics that were previously used by retailers to sell tires? Maybe just high-performance graphics in general, if you had any insights on that.
Yeah, so this may be something that we could look into a little bit more with Optimize since they've been working with these retailers mostly. Like I mentioned, Optimize is just one of the agencies that I work with, but this can definitely be a follow-up item that we can try and provide some examples with as well. So John, I have that noted and we'll make sure to get back to you on that.
Another question here. Do you have any tips or tricks for doing a catalog ad that pulls from inventory?
Yes. So catalog sales is another objective that you can use as an advertiser. So it's pretty complex. I would definitely recommend looking at the Facebook help articles a little bit more to learn a little bit more about these objectives. It would be pulling from your inventory. I know that there's definitely quite a bit of back end work that goes into that. But for Andrea asking, I would look up Facebook help catalog sales, or also a little bit more of an advanced opportunity we have are dynamic ads. So that would be showing different, like if you've looked at, let's say, an item on, or you've browsed vacations before, and then you get retargeted with the vacation along with similar destination, that would be an example of a dynamic ad. So I would definitely recommend checking out those two resources.
I have a question here from Kalpesh. Can you help define our target audience, like specific vehicle brand owners?
So this would be something that Optimize would help on your strategy with. So they're good at knowing what those different types of target audiences would be for your specific goals that you're wanting to reach. So if you're wanting to target people with specific interests, they can do so. Specific vehicle brand owners, I do have to double check on that due to like some of the security. I know that we have gotten rid of some partner categories just to protect some of our consumers. But a workaround is that some of our agencies and clients have been working with third-party companies like Oracle that can provide some sort of data to help target those customers as well.
Perfect. And I have a question here from John. That you've shown us the success that large companies with big budgets can have. How about smaller local businesses?
Yeah, we definitely do have a lot of case studies that are for smaller local businesses as well. I try to keep it as close to the industry as possible, but I would definitely recommend looking on Facebook case studies. There is a section where you can go to that are more for small mom and pop shops. The nice thing with Facebook is that you don't need a minimum budget to advertise. We recommend budgets of all different sizes. It's really just knowing, the amount that you're putting in and the results that you're wanting to get. Optimize is going to try and think of a strategy that's going to help you work best for your business. So while we did highlight some of those larger brands, we work with businesses of all sizes, small mom and pop shops spending, $50 a month, and also some of these larger brands spending millions and millions of dollars a year.
I have a question here from John. He has two questions, so I'll start off with the first one. Cross-posting from Facebook to Instagram. If an ad is run on Facebook is it easier to cross-post to Instagram or the other way around?
So if you're just wanting to do posts, so we don't work too much on the organic end, so I can't give like a good recommendation in terms of Facebook to Instagram. But if an ad is run on Facebook, what you're doing when if you'd be setting up an ads manager, there's actually a really cool way to actually select those different placements. And ads manager allows you to select either using your Facebook page or Instagram page. And if you wanted to use creative, but it looks different in like Instagram stories, for example, to Facebook feed, we have a tool called placement asset customization, which would allow you to deliver the same type of creative, but making sure that that creative is specific to the placement that you're actually wanting to deliver ads on.
And John's second portion of his question was also there is a business.facebook accounts on Facebook. Can those pages be tied to Instagram pages?
That's a great question. So business Facebook accounts on Facebook, can those pages be tied to Instagram pages? I believe that there's a way that you can organically like put your business if let's say a consumer wanted to view your Instagram page on there, or like an Instagram and like the top bio, I believe you can also put a link to your Facebook page so consumers can see that you're on both platforms.
Have a question here from Charles, and I think it's directed towards TireConnect, so I'll answer it.
Okay.
Will TireConnect have a widget for our Facebook pages to allow you to propel the use of TireConnect right on Facebook? So Charles, yes, we do. Basically, what you can do is you can add a Shop Now button to your main Facebook page, and it can go into a specific Facebook-focused TireConnect widget. So maybe a good, I'll follow up with you after the call and send you some documentation on how you could do that. Perfect. So I have another question here from Mark. Is optimized social media co-opable with Bridgestone Firestone? And maybe John, you can answer that.
Yes, as being one of the core vendors, we are co-opable through Bridgestone Firestone.
Perfect. Have another question here from John. How can you, let me just quickly read through this. Fortunately, really thank you guys, because there's so many questions coming through. So I have to kind of make sure I'm looking at the right thing, because they're constantly coming in. So I really appreciate the feedback here. So how can you use a business tag to tag a relevant community to their post? An example is that he runs Pirelli tire ads. Can he tag communities? Fortunately, it looks like I just got pushed out of there. Can he tag communities on Facebook who are focused on Pirelli tires?
So so to answer your question, John, if you're looking to target users who may be interested in a brand or people who have an interest in tires, that is something that you can set up through Ads Manager. So with the different targeting options, like I mentioned, you can go off of interest, behaviors. We're definitely seeing the best results if we're actually using customer data, using those custom audiences and building lookalikes off of them, just so we can actually retarget current customers or find new customers who would be more than likely to interact with your ad. But yes, there definitely is a way to target people who are interested in certain things like tires, for example.
So I have a question here from Artavan. Is there a problem with creating two different sets of ads, advertising, two different items, but have solely one of the ads on Instagram and the other on Facebook? Would they be competing with each other?
So it would kind of be dependent on a couple of different things. So let's say if you have similar audiences, then yes, they would be competing against each other, having like that audience overlap. So there is a way to check and see to make sure that your audiences are not overlapping. Second thing, when it comes to the ads on like having one ad set on Instagram and the other on Facebook, we actually don't recommend having them separate. We actually recommend having them together, because this can essentially drive up the cost if you're only putting in, let's say, 2 placements on Instagram versus to placements on Facebook, you're giving the system less opportunity to find that user that's likely to engage with your ad. So we recommend just letting our machine do the learning as best as we can. And for those of you who aren't too familiar with like some of the different machine learning, as we call it on Facebook, we have a lot of things that we've developed over the last couple of years to not only make experiences easier for agencies, but also for clients setting up their campaigns to help you find those customers. So things like campaign budget optimization, where we're trying to find the best performing ad set so we can deliver your ads to the best people, and automatic placements, like I mentioned before. So instead of having to manually select, I want to do Facebook Marketplace and Facebook Newsfeed, it's allowing the system to opt into all of the placements so we can find the cheapest user at that time.
Perfect. Have a couple questions here for TireConnect, so I'll answer them here.
Cool.
First one is from Bill. So he's asking about the Shop Now button off Facebook's page to TireConnect. So Bill, appreciate that. What I'll do is I'll send in the email follow-up to this webinar. We will send instructions to everybody on how they can link to TireConnect from their Facebook page. And then have a question here from Angela. So she has a question about Facebook's Pixel, whether it can be added to the TireConnect widget rather than her website. So the short answer is no, Angela. And you have a second follow-up question, Angela, about that you use Squarespace, but you don't know if your customers have used the widget or if they've just hit your website. So I don't want to bring in Google here, but I'll mention it anyway. So TireConnect, actually, you can do tracking of your TireConnect analytics within Google Analytics. So we can follow up with you after this call, Angela, in terms of you can actually check specifically what customers are doing within the TireConnect widget within Google Analytics. So after the call, I'll send you some instructions on that.
Right.
Have a question from Kalpesh.
You know what?
Follow-up.
Thank you guys.
Oh, sorry, Michelle.
Oh, sorry, no worries. I just actually am getting kicked out of my room, unfortunately, so I do have to put a hard stop on the webinar. I want to thank everyone so much for their time. Thank you so much, Nigel, for organizing this all together. Thank you, John,
Pleasure.
for Optimize. Thank you to all the business owners. We really appreciate you guys attending this webinar and learning a little bit more about Facebook and our advertising solutions and how we can help you. I know some of this may seem a little bit overwhelming, but I would encourage you who want to learn more, definitely connect with the OSM team, dive into different blueprint courses so you can get a better idea of some of these specific products. And again, I will be sending out a survey via SurveyMonkey. I would really appreciate if you guys can all fill that out, and that way we'll know moving forward, how valuable the content was for you guys. And again, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it, and I hope everyone has a good rest of your week.
Great, thanks, Michelle. It was an excellent presentation. As you can see from the participation, everybody really enjoyed it. So thank you, and thanks, John, for the great insight also. Jonathan, thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you guys so much. Bye.